thing. Yeah. Good. All right.
We'll look out for you.
Yep, sure. Cheers.
Towards the end of last year, the outfit suffered some starting problems. One day the usual routine would be rewarded first kick, while another, for no apparent reason, I'd have a sense of flogging a dead horse. Here we are on a good day, leaving our local vintage and classic club's meeting at dusk. The usual troubleshooting regime of spark plug replacement and Magneto checks, cleaning the concentric carb, and even changing back to the old monoblock, all failed to deliver any clear solution. Fresh 5% ethanol fuel made little difference. Sometimes the old trick of rubbing a soft pencil on the plug points would bear fruit, suggesting perhaps a Magneto problem. But on another occasion I'd try dribbling a little petrol down the plug hole, with the same success. On a bad day, loaded and ready to go, my leg would run out of kick and I'd be on my knees offering 4-letter prayers to the gods, felon and more. Are the mag points completely clean? I collect a paper fiver that I keep pinned in the workshop for such moments. Under the Currency and Banknotes Act, 1928, it is an offence to deface a note by printing, stamping or writing on it. Though it's true to say that there is no mention of cleaning contact breaker points. Paper notes are no longer in circulation in the UK, but I still take care not to dirty the Queen's face, which disloyalty under the law of the United Kingdom could constitute treason. In 1998, the maximum penalty for high treason, which incidentally includes committing adultery with the sovereign's consort, was reduced to life imprisonment. But I'm still careful to use only the borders of the note. Let's talk about thermodynamics, entropy and old motorcycles. I'm no scientist, but I have grasped the one-way nature of decay which affects everything in our universe. Oil changes and face creams hold back the process, but like paint jobs and nose jobs, they have a limited effect. With time, the energy trapped in a motorcycle at manufacture is slowly dissipated. We may renew it with fresh tyres or piston rings, but eventual failure is absolutely guaranteed. A lesson learned long ago was that if I insisted on riding machines until they and I were ancient, I should prepare for disappointments. Better still, I could learn to enjoy the challenges that failure brings. Oh, goody! My day is complete. I have something to mend.
God bless you, man.
The engine in question, 100 crank and 120 barrel, has been making thunder since its rebuild more than 12 years and 8,000 miles ago. It's admittedly down on compression, so during winter I strip the top end, grind in valves and hone the bore. I'm running a salvaged from scrap 89mm rover piston, given to me years ago, and on eBay I spot a new old stock ring set of that size. Manufactured by Cords, their spring steel rings gained a poor reputation in the club back in the 1980s, with reports of strange ridging to cylinder barrels after relatively few miles, but I can't resist a bargain, and vague rumours without proof require investigation, experimentation. As Mum used to say on serving up a bowl of tapioca pudding, if you don't try it, you'll never know. The rings carry complex directions regarding fitment, which have me pondering results of incorrect assembly. Cast rings often have the word top etched into them, or show a ridge-dodging recess for use in part-worn bores. There are no markings on the spring steel rings, but squeezing them in the fingers shows up a cupped form in some, while others are flat. The rings are fitted in multiples, and it's vital to assemble as described in the instruction sheet. Although the Magneto produces sparks you could weld with, I also arrange a swap with this one from the 1955 rigid frame Panther, a known good starter. It makes no appreciable difference, but I do discover a slack bearing, and so strip and rebuild. The video of that for future upload. It's winter, and there is no better place than my workshop to while away the short daylight hours. With the engine back together, compression is fully restored, and the Panther is even harder to start. This is our first Vintage and Classic Club ride of 2022, the Daffodil Run, in March. The sound is a little disabled due to an experiment failed in reducing wind noise. We're about to set off when a bystander stops to share a lifetime of sidecar memories, while Angie, route at the ready, pats the windscreen frame with barely concealed impatience. There's a car meet on at the cafe, and in consequence we have a full house audience when the Panther, which started well both at home and after a fuel fill on the ride here, decides that our tea break is not yet over. My navigator is in charge of the starter's toolkit, and I have to resort to buffing and penciling the plug, which magic I cannot explain, but in which I still have absolute faith.
Yeah.
So there's fuel and there's a spark. How could it do
do anything but start. With a blanket over her knees. Up over the bridge. Sorry. Thought I'd turn that camera on to get our first kick start. Right, the fuel is on. Choke is open. A little bit of retard. Half compressing.
A month later, we're readied for the local Vintage Club section's April showers run. It's a beautiful day, clear and cool, and the bike starts well. At the first corner we meet a tractor and trailer load of potato boxes. Last time they resurfaced the road, it was widened here by the simple expedient of tarmacking the grass bank. After a moment's hesitation, I choose the green stuff rather than negotiating a 45-degree camber. Scrambling back up the bank, I remember that our intercom is on and stifle an urge to start singing. We're on the road again. Canned Heat, 1968. But you're too young to remember that. Until recent times, my off-road Panther experience was confined to a Stroud trials machine, ridden briefly up a gentle slope for the camera. Our excursion into the weeds today was a slightly less alarming version of an earlier event, riding home from a 4 counties POC meeting on the 1955 Model 100. I'm slowing for the car in front as it catches up with a tractor, when the farmer pulls his monster baler into an entrance to let us by. A wide-angle lens gives the impression that I am some distance behind, but as the car exits the bend, I enter it, and I'm beside the baler when the driver dumps his clutch and swings back onto the road. Already committed, I open up and go for the narrowing gap, squeezing by on the rough stuff where tarmac meets grass, just a Panther's whisker from his front tyre. But back to that ride in April. Our new helmet intercom saves screaming across the void between bike and sidecar, but I do have to remember not to deafen Angie by yelling at fellow riders. An easy ride to the start, and we're soon following the route, directions coming clearly to my ears. If you can spare the time, ride along with us for a while. We're tailing the group today, so when I see a bike at the roadside, I pull up to offer assistance. He's not one of ours, but another happy customer on Royal Enfield India's Interceptor, taking a roadside break.
Sorry, I can't hear very well.
Quite a few guys come by here.
Yeah, good, we're on the right route then.
Where's the line from?
We started off in Deeping
Oh, have you?
and going to Greeting. Yeah.
There's two lots been across here so far. It's about 10 miles total, I think.
Yeah. How are you getting on with this machine? They've been very popular.
They are?
Yeah.
For your fairness, I still class it as a British bike, its name. That's the first English bike I've ever had.
Really?
Yeah. I've had Japanese,
Yeah.
76.
Yeah.
First one, and I'm happy with that.
Yeah. Excellent. All right.
After a brief chat, we resume our ride and encounter the next puzzle. An instruction at odds with the route heading which advises, stay on the road you're on until the instruction shows to turn off it. An extraordinary meeting of the committee is convened before we ride on. It takes a second consultation to fully decipher the route sheet hieroglyphic. We make a perfectly legal U-turn and return to the route, crossing the Great North Road and heading west. What a day for a run though. Fluffy clouds and sun strong enough to overcome the cool, clear April day. At the halfway point, I pull up and change the camera battery. Ever the perfect co-pilot, Angie mentions a squeak she's noticed on sharp right-handers, and on inspection I see a minor witness on the sidecar tyre's wall. A washer has dug into the glass fibre mudguard, allowing the bolt to move across and kiss the tyre when the suspension is on full bump. It's not in need of immediate attention and will be an easier fix when we get home. The Panther starts well and we resume our ride.
Just touching the inside of the tyre. It's this bolt here.
Need a tool bag?
No, it can't get out, it's not biting lumps out of the tyre, it's just must be touching it, but why it's moved over would be hard to say at this stage. No, nothing to worry about anyway.
Good.
How many more miles have we got roughly?
Oh, we're not even halfway there yet.
Oh really?
So if you want to cut any corners off,
Oh, it is.
I'm on set page 2.
Ah no, but I think you've got a...
Oh right, okay. So that's where the 35 came in.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, because I said something about it and he said, oh no, not, it's only... So it's total is...
Yeah. Right. Okay.
So it's not a huge distance now.
Another 10-ish.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see if she'll play. First kick, please, pussy.
I'm pleased to report that 2 months after this run, with some 600 miles on the new piston rings, the Panther's engine is still running sweetly. It does have occasional sulks on starting, and a friend following us on a run in June reports a puff of smoke each time I open the throttle. He wonders if oil is being drawn down the inlet valve guide and fouling the plug. It's certainly an idea worth investigating next winter, but for now the bike is for riding. This is Greeton, our lunch venue, the Plough Pub, with its garden tea room. The sloped parking area, reserved for our bikes, lets me indulge in a little Panther outfit party trick, reversing into our parking place.
Fantastic.
Time for well-deserved refreshments and, indigestion permitting, a go on the bouncy castle. Tea Lady Amy politely requests that we remove our boots first.